Okay, I'm live. I am live today. Let me make sure that I'm on in every platform that I want to be and I share. Give me just a second. Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? I want to apologize that I wasn't here for the last week, but my husband had surgery, and we were in the recovery and doing all that, so that's what I wasn't able to be here. But he's doing fine for all of those that know about it. He had surgery because of a cancer diagnosis, but they were able to remove all the cancer. So glory to God. I know that he's going to be healing totally in Jesus' name. Okay. So for those that doesn't know me, my name is Aida Serino Lee. And as you know, I'm an integrative nutrition coach and a holistic health practitioner. And my passion is to help you to prevent, control, and reverse chronic diseases. What for? So you can live a long, healthy, vibrant life, fulfilling your dreams and God-given purpose. So today we have a great topic. And today we're going to talk about unforgiveness and the power of unforgiveness to cause disease. Unforgiveness is not just a feeling that you have against somebody that hurt you, okay, but it's also can damage your brain health and it also can damage your physical health, your relationships, even your finances. Everything can damage. So today we're gonna, I want to concentrate in letting you know how is it that unforgiveness affect your body and your health. Okay, so let's start by saying how does it affect your brain. The way that it affects your brain is that it causes stress, it causes depression, it causes fear, okay? It causes a lot of different things, anxiety, uh, a lot of different things that it causes into your brain. It also causes bipolar disease and other mental health disease because of the negative effect of unforgiveness. So let me tell you how unforgiveness works. Okay, so you know that we have the conscious is where you're awake and then you make your decisions where you know right and wrong. Okay, is your conscious, and then you have your subconscious that is like a bowl in your brain that have all your memories, everything that you have learned, all of your experiences, everything that has happened to you is concentrated in that bowl. And then you have your emotions, and your emotions are like the spoon in the bowl to grab the whatever's in the bowl, but that spoon is directed by your conscious. Okay, it's directed by your unconscious. But sometimes when we have too many garbage in the subconscious, then it can override your conscience, and that's what happened with unforgiveness, that override your emotions, and that's why you're so erratic when you have unforgiveness. Okay, so what happened when you have unforgiveness? When you have unforgiveness, let's say somebody hurt you, okay, and that person hurt you really, really, really bad. So now you have that bad experience in your brain that you are constantly replaying, like a rerunning the TV, replaying the same story over and over and over. Okay, that person, it's like it rented a room in your subconscious and it's sitting there pouring more garbage into your bowl. And then whenever good stuff come into your life, that person that is sitting there that you gave a rent, that you rented a space in your brain, is blocking every single thing that's coming into your brain. Every positive things, every good thoughts, every good feeling, it's blocking it, it's blocking it, it's blocking it. So not only he putting garbage into your bowl, but it's blocking the all good things that are coming in. And then it's overriding your emotions. And because it's overriding your emotions, then you make wrong decisions in your life, in different areas of your life. And then because of that, it affect your emotions. It affect it give you more stress, it give you more depression, it give you more anxiety, it give you more fear, it give you more anger, more bitterness, and you are not able to live life the way that you want to live life. So it give you bipolar disorder. How does it give you bipolar disorder? Because sometimes people that are diagnosed with bipolar disorder, if they go a little deeper and they can find where unforgiveness is in their life and they can forgive, because let me tell you, when you forgive, you're not doing it for the other person. Yes, the other person gets some type of benefit when you forgive, but the bigger benefit is for you when you forgive. When you forgive somebody, it's like you're evicting them completely out of that room that you rented them in your brain. They are completely gone. They nobody else is putting garbage into that bowl. Nobody else is blocking the things that are coming into you, the positive things that are coming, the positive things that are said to you. People are giving you a compliment and you're not able to accept it because of the unforgiveness that you have in there and the person that you have rented that is blocking everything. So those are things that are very, very important. Before I continue, remember that if you want me to see your comments, you got to go upstairs into the video and give okay to StreamYard because I am streaming through StreamYard. Okay. So if you have any question, okay, you make sure that you put it in your comments and I'm able to answer any question that you have. Okay. So, like I was telling, forgiveness will give you stress. And you know that stress is one of the root cause of disease. So you want to avoid that. You want to avoid causing those diseases. You want to avoid causing mental health. Even let me tell you, some people that have unforgiveness, the hatred that they have towards the other person, they even they magnify it into the whole race or into the whole ethnicity or nationality. Let's say Cuban raped them, then all Cubans are bad or uh, you know, a husband, was a bad husband and he was a Latino. Now all Latins are bad, because of that. Or there's women out there that when they were children or adolescent or even into the adult, they were raped and then they hate men, completely hate men, and they become lesbian because they hate men. So those are the things that can happen when it comes to your mental health when you don't forgive. So it is essential for us to forgive. Even in the Bible, it says, is one of the apostles is asking Jesus, how many times we're supposed to forgive, and Jesus says 70 times 7. That's a lot of time that you need to forgive because He forgives us for every single thing that we do. He forgives us for every sin that we commit, and not only that, He forgives us for every sin that we commit, knowing that we're still gonna commit sin, knowing that we're still going to make mistakes in life because we are human and we're not perfect. We are going to make mistakes the same way the people that are around you are going to make mistakes. So that's why you need to learn to forgive. Now, forgive doesn't mean that you need to hang out with that person. Forgive, that doesn't mean that they don't have to pay for what they did wrong, or that what they did wrong is how you say, erase or not address. No, that doesn't mean that. Unforgiveness means that you are in peace, that they're not renting a space in your brain, that you continue with life, that the next time that you see them, you can see them without hatred. That doesn't mean that you have, depending on the relationship you have with that person at the beginning and the kind of person that it was, and what kind of hurt they put upon you, is how the relation is going to be afterward, if you're going to have a relationship with that person or not, once you forgive that person. But the key is that they don't bother you no more, that you can see that person and it won't hurt you no more, that you can use that hurt, that example of what happened to you, and use it as a testimony to help others go, being able to forgive. Okay, and maybe not go through the same situation, how they can avoid that situation, the hurt that you went through. Okay, when you can use it as a testimony without hurting, when you can see that person without hurting, without wanting to hurt them, okay, that's when you know that you're already forgiven that person. So it is important for you to know that. And then how is it damage your body? Damage your unforgiveness. Like I said, it causes stress, and because of stress, it's going to cause disease. It's going to increase inflammation. It's going to increase oxidative stress. How does increase inflammation and oxidative stress? It's because the neurons in your brain and all the negativity that is coming into your brain because of unforgiveness is being communicated to every cells in your body. So what happened to the cells when the cells receive that negative energy? That energy gets metabolized, and when it gets metabolized, it gives free radicals, which is a negative ion that is going to be floating inside your cells. So what happens when you have uh, uh, a lot of free radicals? And remember that you get free radicals for everything that you metabolize, whatever you put in your skin, whatever thoughts that come from your mind, or whatever garbage you eat, or the good things that you eat, still everything get metabolized, and everything's going to give you some amount of free radicals. But the more garbage and negativity you put into your body, the more uh, free radicals you're going to get. And then if you're not eating right to clean it up, what's going to happen is that those free radicals are going to accumulate inside the cells. And because they don't want to be negative, they want to get something positive, they are going to destroy the cells to try to get to the other cell to match and become positive, but it never happened. What it does, they keep damaging cells, damaging cells. When they keep damaging the cells, now the integrity of the cell is gone. So the pathways for nutrients to go in, for the sugar to go in, and all that, now they're blocked. So they're not getting the nutrients that they're supposed to, because the cell is not in shape, or and the pathways are not open the way they're supposed to. Not only that, now your immune system look at it as something foreign. There's a cell that doesn't belong there because it's not shaped as the other cells in your body. So the immune system is going to attack it with an inflammation response. And that's how chronic inflammation happens. And then when it comes to your hormones, then your adrenals are going to be releasing more cortisol, and you're going to have the epinephrine and all that coming up, all stressed out, raising your blood pressure, raising your sugar, raising your risk for heart disease and for diabetes, and raising your stress, a possibility of heart attacks, and a possibility for stroke. Okay, and then all that amount of free radicals and that amount of oxidative stress, because when you have that many free radicals and it damage the cell, then it causes oxidation. And oxidation is like the same thing that happened to an apple when you open and you put it outside, that it get brown, that it get oxidized, or metal that you put in water and it get oxidized, then your cells get oxidized. And what happens when the cell get oxidized, I give opportunity of them to multiply abnormal and cause cancers. So that's why it's essential for us to forgive. It's not just for the benefit of the other person, it's for your own benefit that you want to forgive. Okay, that's why you want to forgive, for your own benefit. It is necessary for us to forgive, to keep, every single time. For example, like I was telling you before, that you putting the garbage into that brain. Okay, every single time that you need to make a decision, and that you have to make or you get an emotion, the emotions, remember, it's the spoon that have to grab the spoon, grab from that memory in the bowl, in order for it to activate. So if you only have garbage and unforgiveness and hatred and the replay of the hurt that you went through, and how I'm gonna be how I'm gonna curse that person the next time that I see it, and how I'm gonna mistreat that person, I'm gonna get revenge with that, all that. Then when you get that emotion, somebody get you mad and things like that. That's how people get killed sometimes. The person have unforgiveness in their heart, and they get into a fight for some reason, and then when the anger comes up, it's not only the anger that they have toward that person that hurt them at the moment, it's all the angers that they have before that, of all the unforgiveness that they have, all the people that hurt them before, and they throw all that anger in there, and they go crazy, and they kill the person, and they really didn't meant to do that. Or you end up, because you have full of unforgiveness and hatred inside of you, then you hurt other people. They hurt you, now you hurt other people, because you are not able to control your anger. You are not able to control your negativity, your expressions. So that's another reasons why it's so important for us to forgive. It affects us in every arena of our lives, and affects us with our purpose. It affects us with our job. Imagine you have unforgiveness and you have hatred to a man, and your boss is a man, okay, and the boss says something that you really didn't like, and now you're going to come and answer, and you're going to have no control of what you say, and then you're going to get fired unnecessarily, just because you didn't want, you were not able to control your anger, okay, because of all the unforgiveness that you have inside towards men, because of one man that hurt you. All those things happen. Oh, what about people that's some people that get bipolar? Because some people, they're able to bury the emotion, and bury the memory for a while, and while they bury that memory for a while, they are happy, they're functioning perfectly, okay, and they go to the high happiness because they don't have that memory, but then something triggered that memory back, and then they go back to the depression, and to the anger, and to the anxiety, and to the fear, and that's where they get diagnosed with the bipolar disorder. Now, of course, the main thing of bipolar disorder is the chemical imbalances that goes into the brain. That's most of the cases, but there's some out there that are being misdiagnosed because we don't go in to figure it out, everything they have gone through their life, and what kind of unforgiveness and hurts they have gone through that might be causing that imbalances on the moods as well. So those are reasons why we need to forgive, and why unforgiveness is a part. I remember, I used to work in an oncology office, and I remember I have two ladies that have the same type of breast cancer and the same prognosis. One of the ladies was in their late 50s, okay, and I have one that was in the late 30s. I think she was 38 or 39. Okay, well, the lady that was 38 and 39, she was mad at the world. Okay, she felt that the reason why she had the cancer, but it was because she was so stressed. She got so much stress. She went through a divorce, and so she blamed her ex-husband for all that was happening to her at the moment. Plus, she had young children, and she was in fear of not being there to raise her children, and all those stress, and the fact that she blamed her husband. She was always mad. She was always angry. She was very rude. Like, for example, the clinic that I used to work in, it was a clinic where they not only get treated by the doctor, but they receive all their chemos and radiology. Everything was done in the same office. So she will come for her chemotherapy, for example, and let's say she wanted some juice or something like that. She will not be kind and say to the nurse, can you bring me some juice or some water? She will say something like, you better give me some juice and water right now, because you don't know where I'm going to die. So not only was she rude to the person, but she also declaring death into herself. Remember that the power of life and death is in your mouth. Every word that comes out of your mouth can bring life or can bring death. You can curse somebody in a way that you hurt them for the rest of their life, that you affect their self-esteem, that you affect their mood, and that you can even cause suicidal thoughts and suicide. The people can cause suicide because of what somebody tell them. But you also can say something to a person that can build them up, that can be the cause of their success, that can lift them up to their next level in life, because you said something positive, because you said a compliment, because you said something kind to that person. So the same thing goes to yourself. When you say to yourself negative things, that's what you're going to attract, negative things. But when you say to yourself positive things, then you're going to attract positive things. That's why you have the law of attraction. You have the work of the affirmations and things like that work positive. Those are words that are positive into your life. So when you have unforgiveness, like this lady had, you're only going to talk negative to yourself. You're going to talk negative to others. You have bitterness and anger, and she was like that all the time. And remind you that I tell you, she had the same diagnosis and prognosis as the other lady. Now, the older lady that was in the late 50s, it was a lady that she was always happy. No matter how bad the treatment was, the lady was on point with her makeup, her nice turban to cover her head. She always have something positive. She have jokes for everybody that comes in there. She was kind and sweet. She was always praying for others. As when she was there helping others, that would start the chemo, where she already been in chemo for a while, and what to expect, and she was very polite with everybody else, but very comforting to everybody else. Okay, so what happened 2 years later? The lady the lady in the 30 in, that was 38, 39 years old, that have the same diagnosis and have the same prognosis. And not only that, the young lady, she had the cancer, but she didn't suffer. She didn't have any comorbidities. She didn't suffer of hypertension. She didn't suffer of diabetes. She didn't suffer any other disease or anything like that that will complicate her situation. In the other hand, the lady, nor she was overweight either. Nor the lady in the late 50s, she was overweight. She had diabetes. She had hypertension. She had heart disease. Okay, she had bad circulation, swelling in her limbs, in her legs and ankles and feet. I mean, she had all type of complications. She had all this other medication that she used to take and everything else. Okay, because of the attitude, when we used to ask the family, because the young lady sometimes, many of the times, she used to come alone for her treatments, and we asked the family why the family wanted to be approachable with her, but they couldn't because she was always mean to them and she mistreated them, so they didn't want to help her. They didn't want to be around her. In the other hand, the other lady, she'll have one of her kids coming in. If it wasn't her husband, it's like they took turns between the husband and the kids. They took and her mother. They took turns on coming in with her, taking care of her. And she always, in every prayer, I remember in every prayer that she had, the her youngest child at the moment was in high school. I think he was a junior or a senior in high school, and she always said, "I want to see him graduate high school, minimum graduate high school." Before I pass away, she used to say like that. Okay, so the young lady passed away 2 years later. Okay, she passed away 2 years later from the breast cancer. The older lady, she was able to see her son, her younger son, graduated high school, graduated college, get married, and have her first child, because she passed away when her baby of the that last child's baby was 1 year old. She passed away. She lasted another 11 years after that. After diagnosis, she lasted 11 years. You know, that's the difference between having unforgiveness in your heart and when you are clear and you have no issues when it comes with forgiveness. That's the difference. It can be a difference of life and death. That's why it's so important for us to forgive. Remember when I was explaining to you that the subconscious is like a boat that have all your memories? That's another thing. If you're already in a situation of stress in your life, you're in a situation where somebody hurt you and things like that in your life, you want to pour into that subconscious positive things. Positive things. So when your emotions act up, and that spoon that is the emotions have to grab from that bowl in order to react in your conscious, okay, it will have so much positive things that will act in a positive way instead of adding to everything else, to the pain and the suffering that you already have. Okay, so that's why it's so important. So what are the steps in order for you to help you forgive? Okay, there are 6 steps. I'm sorry, 7 steps in order to help you forgive, and because forgiveness is nothing that happened overnight. Okay, maybe it can be overnight when somebody just did something stupid, or when it comes to your mom or a sibling or things like that. You might be able to do it overnight, but some other things, it's going to take a while before you can completely forgive. The thing is that you're walking towards that goal of forgiving. Okay, so the first thing is to acknowledge the hurt. You need to acknowledge what happened. Okay, and how did you got hurt, and how deep that you got hurt, and you have to acknowledge who perpetrated the hurt. Because sometimes, if the hurt was perpetrated by somebody that you do not admire, somebody that you don't consider their opinion, somebody that you don't really care much about, then even if what they did is big and deep, you can really forgive easier, because it's not a person that is going to be in your life contributing in your daily life or anything like that, so it will be easier to forgive. But when it's somebody that you love, that's supposed to know better, like your spouse, your parents, your siblings, you know, then you need to make the effort to forgive, and it's going to be a little harder. What about if it's a coworker? The coworker, you have to put up with that coworker every single day when you go to work. Either you change your job, or your position should be in a different department, So you don't have to see them every day. Otherwise, you're going to have to put up with them every single day. So how are you going to deal with that person? You need to start forgiving so that you'll be able to deal in a more polite, without hurting yourself every single time that you see that person. So acknowledging that is very important in the process of forgiveness. Then you need to consider how they hurt you. Would they just hurt your feelings, your vanity, or did they really hurt you deep inside? It was something that changed the way that you perceive life, the way that you think, the way that you work now because of what they did to you, or it was something stupid that they did to you that you can just let it go. Because if it's something deeper, then you might need a little bit more work. Maybe you need counseling. Let's say it was a rape, for example. Then you might need counseling. You might need to work that out with a psychologist or somebody that you can talk out the process and everything like that. So it's very important that for you to take that step in order to forgive. The next thing that you need to do is accept that you cannot erase the past. Whatever happened, you cannot erase it. Now what you have to do is deal with it, okay, and forgive so that you can move on and do the work that it takes for you to get there so you can move on, because what is done and you cannot erase it. Okay. Also, you need to understand that anger is not gonna anger and revenge is not gonna diminish the pain or take away the pain or erase what happened. It's going to cause more pain to you, more issues to you, more health issues to you, while the other person, while you're here angry and preparing the revenge and thinking of that person every single day and rerunning that experience in your brain over and over and over and over and over. The person is over there, okay, in Thailand, in the beach with a pina colada, resting and having fun, and over here you're here killing yourself with all these thoughts and anxiety and not able to function, not able to follow your purpose and your dreams because you are blocked, you are stuck in that hurt. You're stuck in that moment when that hurt happened and you are not able to move on. You understand? So that's why another reason why you need to forgive. You need to understand that nothing is gonna erase that, but you just need to forgive so that you can get it away from your brain in a daily basis. It is important for you to know that. And then you need to determine, that you need to forgive. You have to come into the conclusion that you have to forgive. It doesn't matter how big, how small. You need to forgive for your own good. You have to make that determination. Okay, I have to forgive. Okay, and once you take that determination, then what do I have to do to repair my relationship with that person, the way that I see that person, and that person see me? What do I have to do now? Repairing the relationship do not mean that you are restoring the relationship. Okay, repairing the relationship means that you are able to forgive that person and able to see that person, and this person is dying and you're able to lend a hand. You're able to lend a hand to that person, but that doesn't mean that you have to see them over. That doesn't mean that you have to uh, uh, restore the relationship to the way that it was in the past, you know because remember, now you know how they are. You need to make sure that you protect yourself. You create some boundaries so the same hurt doesn't happen again. So that boundaries might be that you're not hanging out with that person. If by coincidence you find them in the mall, in the restaurant, you can say hi, bye, how you doing, and keep going. But that you're able, you need to create those boundaries, but you're going to have to be able, to restore, the way that you see that person, that is not with hatred and anger, that every single day that you see that, every time you see that person, that damage your whole day. Imagine if it's somebody, it's a coworker that you have to see them every single day, or your parents that you still live in a home that you have to see them every single day, or a sibling, or your spouse that you have to see them every single day. You know, even when it comes to your spouse, let's say that it's because they cheat on you or something like that. It's your decision whether you're gonna forgive him, and then no, forgiving, that doesn't mean that you have to stay in the marriage. You know, but if you're gonna forgive him and you want to stay in the marriage, then you really need to work in restoring the relationship. But you can forgive them and still get a divorce, and everybody go their way, and you still have great co-parenting and a great friendship when it comes to co-parenting the children and things like that, but don't have the marriage anymore because of the trust that he broke, that can never be repaired. Because people, you have to understand that once trust is there, okay, once you break it, it's really hard to earn it. Really, really hard to earn it back. And when you earn it back, it's sometimes with conditions. Okay, it's with conditions. So it is important that you understand that. The next thing that you need to know is learn that forgiveness is more. You need to understand that forgiveness is for you. You have to learn that forgiveness is for you, to help you, okay, to be free, to make sure that you got evict that person out of your brain, out of your thoughts, out of your daily thinking, okay, so that you can continue with your life, so you can flourish and grow and fulfill your purpose, and go through that bucket list, and everything that you want to do, you are able to do, because you're not stuck and blocked and thinking on how much you're going to do with that person, and how you're going to curse them, and how you're going to revenge, and how much you cannot see it. Remember, there's some people that you have to see them every day anyways. So you need to learn how to, to understand that. You have to learn that the forgiveness is just for you, okay, for your benefit. Somehow it does benefit that other person because you forgive them. So if they really repented, they can benefit from it, from that forgiveness. But if they haven't repented, they're not going to benefit from that forgiveness. Okay? So please make sure that you understand that. And the last thing that you need to do is actually forgive that person. If the person is somebody that asks for forgiveness, that actually communicated to you that they want to be forgiven, then it will be nice if you are able to, tell them, you're forgiven, and then you can say you're forgiven, and then you can give it your boundaries. You're forgiven, but I really don't want to see you anymore. Or you're forgiven, but this and this are the things that are going to cause, I'm not going to hang out anymore. I don't want to do this, but there's going to be some space or until we earn the confidence again. Whatever are the boundaries, you need to communicate that to that person. You can do it that way. You can do it via, a letter or an email. If it's a person that is far away, that you need to give the forgiveness. It's a person that no longer is here, and or you cannot reach them because they're alive, but they live in another state. You don't know the address, you don't know the email, nothing like that. You can put the forgiveness into your journal, so you know that you actually forgive. It's an action. You need to know that you took the action to forgive. Okay, so you can write it in your journal, for example. And you can maybe even if it's not something very personal, you can even write it down into your social media, and that person maybe can catch your social media and see it, that they're forgiven. But you need to take that action to forgive, and you need to let go. You need to let go of that person and let God do everything else. You have to let God of that person and let God do everything else. So that's why it's so important for us to forgive. Remember what I tell you, forgive causes a lot of disease. When it comes to your brain, like I said before, anxiety, depression, anger, bitterness, okay, negative outlook into life, bad attitudes, all these things happening to your brain. Not to mention that you can get mental illnesses like depression and bipolar disorder, or if you sometimes people that have the gene to have a schizophrenia, things like that, it get activated because of incidents like this, of unforgiveness and things like that. So those are the things that can happen to your brain health. What about to your physical health? It can cause disease, it can cause inflammation, it can cause cancer. You know that anger, okay, damage your liver. Anger and unforgiveness damage your liver. And your liver is the one that filters everything in the blood together with your kidney. So if that is, and it's the one that makes sure that all the chemicals and toxins and garbage that you put into your body get changed into less damaging product, and then be detoxed out of your body through your kidneys or your feces. And if the liver is not working fine, and then all those garbage get accumulated into your body because your liver is not working fine, that's going to cause disease. And when you have chronic inflammation elevated and stress, that's going to cause disease. Remember that the root cause of many of the chronic diseases out there is inflammation and oxidative stress. If if you have all this negativity in your brain, it's going to be communicated to your cells. It's going to cause free radicals. The free radicals are going to cause oxidative stress. That means that your cells are going to oxidize. They're not going to be able to work in the highest healing potential. They're not even going to look like cells anymore. Your immune system is going to attack it. If the immune system cells are damaged because of anxiety, because of anger, because of unforgiveness, then your immune system are not going to be able to give a good response when you have an infection, when you have a flu, a cold, or anything like that. All these things have a lot to do with unforgiveness. Okay? So it's very important for you to make sure that you forgive, no matter how big what it was. Remember, even God forgave us, and He died for us, and He forgave us, knowing that we're still imperfect and we're going to still commit sin. Being a Christian doesn't mean that you're perfect. Being a Christian is that you try not to commit sin, but it's gonna happen anyway. You know, and He will forgive you, and you're still forgiven. So that's the same mercy that you want God to give you. You want to give to other people the same mercy, and that doesn't mean that you have to hang out with the people that, like I said, forgiveness doesn't mean that you're restoring the relationship with that person. Forgiveness means that you are releasing that person for the run that they were having in your brain, okay? And that you're going to be free, that you're going to be able to see that person again in your life if you have to confront them in any other circumstances and not be angry, okay? But yes, you're going to have your boundaries set, okay? And you don't have to hang out with that person. You don't even have to restore a relationship with that person. You can just let it go and let go, deal with them, okay? And that doesn't mean that because you forgive that they're not going to pay for what they did. Remember that what we sow in this world, what we sow, we reap. That's what the Bible said. If you don't believe in the Bible, karma is a stink, okay? That the world said that what goes around comes around. So what people do, they're going to get it back. They're going to get it back, okay? So make sure that you forgive. If you didn't learn anything today, all you need to learn is to please forgive. If you have anybody, if you watching this today or later this week or whenever you watch this video, if you have somebody, while you listen to this, you have somebody to forgive in your life, make sure that you do it this week. Make sure that you start working into that forgiveness. Make sure that you go through the steps of acknowledging what is the hurt and consider what the person that hurt you, how they hurt you, why they hurt you. Remember, for example, children that blame everything to their parents. You have to consider, people became a parent without a book with instructions. Back then, if you are in your 30s, like most of my audience, it usually beyond 30s. Parents back then didn't have the abilities that they have now with the computer and the Google, that you can learn different things about parenting, the social media and all that stuff that you can find somebody, a parenting coach and things like that, and learn how to be a better parent. They didn't have none of that. And even today's day, they have all of that, and people don't go and learn about it because they don't go and see this. Otherwise, if that was the case, and people want to learn, my audience here right now will be full. But so that's why you need to forgive. And remember that even though people hurt you in the back then, okay, that's not a reason for you not leaving. That's not a reason for you to stop doing fulfilling your purpose and fulfilling your dreams. It's not the problem is not where you came from or what people did for you. It's what you're doing with what they did for you and what you're doing forward, where you're going forward. That is you in control of. What you doing with what they give you? Everything that we learn, even God said that He worked everything in our life for our good. Everything, the good and the bad and the ugly. He worked it for our good. So how can you work that for our good? Once you forgive that person, you can use it to teach others as a testimony how to forgive that person. You can teach others how to avoid getting the same hurt. How do you? What are the signs of a person that's going to do this and that to you? Because you already went to that experience. You can use that for your good. That can even be your purpose and end up to be your business, and the fact that the way that you bring your finances. So forgiving that person, that hurt that they did, might be a blessing to your life indirectly, because they just give you a tool for you to make money. So just make sure that you forgive, okay? So thank you so much, and make sure that you tune in next week And remember that the doctor is responsible for your sick care, but you, yes, you are responsible for your health care. So I'll see you next week. Take care.